I want to congratulate both Rich Lux and Keemstar for falling into the alt-right pipeline and supplying motherfuckers like Gavin McInnes and Tim Stool with the narratives that they want so they can continue to work against progressive causes, which is, at the end of the day, exactly what Rich Lux and Keemstar wanted, right?
What's going on, big guy?
Death Noodles is... fuck it. Death Noodles is gonna Death Noodles. What else can I say? But Dennis has dig a deeper hole for himself than he did before. Since the last time we talked about him anyway. And we're going to talk about it. So, Dennis the Menace Fatosa, a.k.a. the Primo Italiano himself, Death Noodles, who can be seen here being one of Ethan Klein's dingleberries, as he's got himself in some deep shit again. So, he's talking about, he did a video a couple of days ago calling out the alt-right for calling out Ethan, basically. And he talks about this guy, Gavin McInnes, who I had no idea who the fuck that was until this controversy. And Tim Pool, who I barely know about. But he talks about these people calling out Ethan. And one thing he says is that
I want to congratulate both Rich Lux and Keemstar for falling into the alt-right pipeline and supplying motherfuckers like Gavin McInnes and Tim Stool with the narratives that they want so they can continue to work against progressive causes, which is, at the end of the day, exactly what Rich Lux and Keemstar wanted, right? But should we really be that surprised that Keemstar is being used as a source by these far-right news shows? I mean, we all know that's what Keemstar is all about.
I mean, of course, he blames Keemstar for this. He blames Keemstar for everything, okay? But anything from the sun exploding to Dennis having a fucking kidney stone, it's all Keemstar's fault. It's all his fault right there. He's like Palpatine behind the scenes, is controlling everything. Somehow, Keemstar has returned. You know, even blames him for his Twitter account getting banned. It's like that. Okay, I guess that makes sense to you, and only you. So, I know about Keemstar, but Rich Lux is a whole other can of worms there, because I was like, I don't know who the hell Rich Lux is. But, lo and behold, 1 hour later, I see Rich Lux's video. I'm like, oh, maybe this is a good time for me to know who this is. I didn't know this guy had a channel. I thought maybe it was someone else. Or maybe it was on Twitter. I don't know who the fuck. But, I look at his video. In fact, it's him responding to Death Noodles' claim. And I'm like, bruh, I actually looked at this and thought in my head about Death Noodles and said, my nigga in Christ, you really think this dude is part of an alt-right pipeline? Really? This motherfucker thinks alt-right is what you type in your keyboard. You gonna tell me you think this... Whoo!
You know, sometimes you just don't have to say anything to roast someone. They just take themselves down a peg every time they open their mouths.
If you honestly one of Dennis's fans and you believe this shit, I got some special offer for you. It's some beachfront property. It's all the way in Alaska though, so you might have to travel some ways. How much does it cost? You may ask. Well, whatever you got in your bank account, that'll be enough. Okay. Jesus Christ. And it's like this dude is. There's no way you could honestly, unironically say this with a straight face. Like Jesus Christ. And Dennis thinks the criticism of H3 provides ammo for the quote-unquote enemy. And it's like, what? It's like he wants a lack of criticism of his side from his side. Like, people are allowed to criticize the things you do. And again, I feel like this comes from that whole memeology thing where when PewDiePie said the N-word back like 2017, which was like 5 years ago, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and Ethan Klein himself all criticize him for it. And Memeology, who's now gone full Fox News these days, has been like, oh, you guys are snakes. You guys are snakes. You guys are attacking your friend Ethan Klein. What? PewDiePie. This is your friend. This is just you guys are backstabbing him. It's like, and even PewDiePie himself said, you are allowed to criticize your friends. When the person you're defending disagrees with you, although he didn't directly disagree with Memeology, but when he's disagreeing with the shit that you're kind of shit you're saying, fucking pack it in. You're done. Jesus Christ. I fucking vote. All right. But he wants a lack of criticism. That's what Dennis wants. A lack of criticism to his side, from his side. And it's dishonest. It's the movie Bob syndrome. It's what I call the movie Bob, Cinema Roberto syndrome, where he wants similar things. In fact, I think he specifically said that the people on his side, on their side, basically, anything that goes wrong on their side should be kept quiet and kept under wraps unless they decide to move away, be against us or leave our side. Basically, it's pretty much what happened with Zoe Kravitz recently, when everyone was sitting on this whole bullshit about what she said about Jaden Smith, which wasn't bad at all, really. I tried to call her a fucking predator and shit like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, you want me to clutch my pearls because you want to dig up some shit that you held on to for almost 8 years now at this point? Because it was in 2014 when she said this shit about Jaden Smith. And you want me to clutch my pearls because you held on to this shit and decided now to bring it up because she pissed you off and decided to think that Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was not right? Fucking blow me. I don't give a fuck. Especially when it's not that damn serious either. It's like, Jesus Christ. But and the more I think about this, I'm like, I wonder what they would think about the Andrew Cuomo situation, because remember when Andrew Cuomo got caught up in that sexual harassment allegations and stuff like that? And I see a lot of people the same people who would say, believe women. We have to believe women no matter what. Women, victims of these, we all need to help them out. As soon as Andrew Cuomo's allegations came up, man, fuck them lying sluts. It's like, oh wow, we suddenly flipped on that. This is why I don't fuck with politics that much, because it's full of hypocrites and bullshit artists. And people say, oh, do you say that because it doesn't affect you? It affects me very much mentally, because a lot of the stupid takes I see very much damage my mental health. I promise you. And then, oh, you don't want to deal with politics? But that means you're secretly on the enemy side. It's like, which is, to me, code for, well, if you're not with us, you're with them. It's like, no, I'm not with them either. Then you're with us. No, I'm not with you either. Then you're with them. It's that stupid shit. It's that fucking borderline who's on first bullshit. I'm not dealing with that. No. But when it comes down to, as far as Ethan goes, because this is where this whole thing started, Dennis defending Ethan, is, and once again, it's new Ethan with new Ethan audience, trying to slip in some old Ethan comedy and humor, even though this is that kind of humor he was doing was cringe even for old Ethan humor. But he was trying to do his little dime store Howard Stern shit, and his new Ethan audience didn't like it. And whether you like Jordan Peterson or not, I barely knew who the guy was. I barely knew who the fuck Jordan Peterson was until his whole thing with Ethan, like earlier this year. But he said something about Ethan Klein, gaining a certain audience who believe in cancel culture and expect you to live up to certain standards. And listen, whether or not Dennis wants to be stupid enough to see this and say, oh, you're you're now too part of your right now. It's like, all right, whatever. That's you believe what you want. You fucking think Keemstar is out to kill you. So I don't trust anything you say. I don't trust a word you fucking say. If I was engulfed in flames, and if I was engulfed in flames right now, and you're like, hey, Bison, you're on fire, I would be like, okay, and go to the nearest fire marshal and be like, am I on fire right now? Because someone told me, and I don't really trust their word. So he might say I'm partisan pipeline too for saying this, but at the same time, let me provide some references for why I think this is actually accurate, or maybe somewhat accurate. Because number one, just a month after him saying that to Ethan, he gets called out for fucking with Nicholas DiOrio. Keep in mind, this was 1 month later, right? And Ethan was attempting to face dox Nicholas DiOrio. I say attempt because he started off by saying, well, the whole thing started because Keemstar had the audacity to tag Nicholas DiOrio in something. So then he's like, well, that makes you an enemy, dude, so let's look into you. And they found out what he looks like and everything. And the only reason that didn't cause a shitstorm, that on its own didn't cause a shitstorm, is is because he was wrong. Nicholas Diori does show his face quite often, in fact. But I mean, he got saved by being wrong, as him and Dan being wrong as they usually are, and they got called out for fat shaming Nicholas Diori. And then what happens after that? Months after that, this whole power bottom thing. Like, can you? I mean, again, whether you love Jordan Peterson or hate him, or you neutral on him, or you think he's right or wrong, or don't give a flying fuck about the man, he's not wrong here, because it's happened to Ethan twice, and possibly even 3 times. I heard there was another incident between those two that happened. It's like, you can't sit here and say he's wrong just on this one, because he's clearly accurate. And, you know, I couldn't help but also notice, you know, Ethan memeing his original apology from a few weeks ago. Oh, that's interesting. So that genuine apology you had, you took that and made a big joke about it. Okay, that's cool. No, it's all right, Ethan. I'm just taking notes. Again, do not take my word for it. Just take notes and look at what's happening, and then observe. Just observe what's going on. This is how we determine what kind of mistake he is, right? This is how we do it. You just observe it and you go, okay, wow, all right, and you make your own judgment from there, I guess. And as far as Dennis goes, it isn't just Ethan he's using, defending with this stupid logic that he used last time, or the first time we talked about him. Drew Barrymore, just recently, when she was joking about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, same shit.
I appreciate everyone who spoke out, because this can be a teachable moment for me, and how I move forward and how I conduct myself. I can be a more thoughtful and better person moving forward, because all I want to do is be a good person.
This is such bullshit. Whenever I see people get their diapers in a twist over something so inane like this, I just can't help but think that these people don't inhabit the same universe that we inhabit. They don't have the same problems we have, because to get this offended over Drew Barrymore's commentary on a trial that literally everyone else is making commentary on has to be the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. We have actual serious problems in this country, rather than how Drew is talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, okay? We have fucking Roe v. Wade getting overturned. We have the fucking governor of Florida trying to make it fucking illegal to even be gay in the state of Florida. Like, the world is literally falling apart. Conservatives have a Death Star pointed at the last 100 years of progress, and they're destroying everything because we as a society are so focused on the stupidest bullshit. So Pete Davidson recently got a brand new tattoo of Kim Kardashian and her kids' names, which is a very normal thing to do after dating somebody for less than 6 months. I mean, the last person I dated, I got every single one of their family members' faces tatted on my back after meeting them twice. It's called commitment.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hey, she made some fucking jokes, huh? But I mean, we can call out some other people, right? Come on. It's like, Dennis, once again, we can call out both. I don't know how many times I have to fucking say that, but I guess I have to keep saying it until we drill into your fucking skull. We can do both. People have been doing both. Now the world has not fucking stopped because of that. Okay? Because of Drew Barrymore laughing about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, because Ethan made some stupid jokes on his podcast. Nothing stopped and nothing has changed, okay? Stop trying to push criticism away from your side by bringing up shit that has absolutely fucking nothing to do with anything that you're talking about, especially when it comes to the Drew Barrymore thing, because that whole the politics thing had nothing to do with fucking Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, okay, or Drew Barrymore. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So at the end of the day, folks, what sounds like what Dennis wants is for a lack of accountability on his end. For people on his side, he wants them to avoid accountability and avoid owning up to their own mistakes at all costs. Just, hey, we gotta focus on the bigger things here. It's like, We can do all of these things. And while also taking accountability for some things that are said or owning up to some mistakes that were made. I don't know why you think that this is a bad thing, but it does say a lot about you. And then you wonder why you call defamation noodles and you have the very, very garbage reputation that you have currently. This is why. Because you want people. This is not something you should be saying. Because people who own up to mistakes, and granted, it's the fucking Drew Barrymore thing wasn't horrific or anything, but she did apologize, and it's like, all right, fine, whatever. You wanting everyone to no, just look over here. You're not helping anybody on your side. If anything, you are a detriment to whatever side you take. If you suddenly decide to go full MAGA right now and be on your podcast tomorrow or whatever fucking channel, whatever, one of the other 5 channels you have for some reason, and decide to talk about support the right wing and all that shit, you'd be a detriment to them too. Because you, like me, are not that well versed in politics. The only difference between me and you is I don't fucking pretend to know what the fuck I'm talking about regarding that subject. You pretend to do so, and in the process, fuck yourself up and the people you're defending in the process. This man has made Ethan look a lot worse now than he did before, and Ethan didn't already, to me, look that bad to begin with because he already apologized and he already tried to make up for everything. But I mean, even though after the meme apology with the beans on toast, I'm like, oh, you're memeing that, so I guess that first apology was bullshit. I guess maybe, I don't know, but it's like you're not helping anybody. You're making these people look worse just by your association and you trying to defend them. You make them look worse.
And now ballot cleanser.